This year alone, I've been to 5 countries, and for reference, we are currently in May, and I've been to 8 countries over the last 1 year, all without going into credit card debt or getting broke. So today I'm going to share with you all of the tips and tricks that I use to travel the world without actually breaking the bank. If you asked me this time 5 years ago that do you think you'd be able to travel, explore the world, I would have probably said no. It's something that I had interest in doing, but 1, I didn't think I could afford it. 2, I didn't even think it was possible. But look at me today. I have trips booked every now and then. I'm hopping on the plane, and traveling has become my hobby. It has helped me explore the world, see more people, learn a lot more about myself. The more you travel, the more you learn about yourself. Travel far enough, you would find yourself, and traveling opens your mind to a lot of endless possibilities. And this is one of the reasons why I always encourage people to travel if they can. But some people just feel like you have to break the bank to be able to travel, or you need a lot of money for you to even start traveling. Absolutely not. So today I'm going to share with you everything that I do to help me travel the world, so you can learn and also apply it to yourself and see how you can also travel the world as well. Because I want all my girls to be out there on the plane, next plane, also exploring just the way I do. So let me tell you everything I do. First is to have a travel fund. Listen, girl, you can't just go into your savings and take money out of it. If traveling is something that is important to you, you have to prioritize saving for it. Just the same way you save to buy a new laptop, you save to buy a new phone, you save for anything, or even your wig, anything that you want to do, you maybe save up for it. That's the same way you need to start saving up for your travel fund. And what I like to do is I separate my travel fund from my other savings. So I typically have different saving buckets. It's usually called thinking fund. So like my emergency fund, my travel fund, and other savings bucket that I have, I usually like to separate them so that I'm not taking money from the wrong places. So what you're going to do now is identify how much you can actually put away for your travel. So it could depend on how much you earn. Typically, if travel is like high up on the list for you, you can save between 10 to 15% of your paycheck. So for example, you earn $1,000 every week or bi-weekly, you can take out $100 from that and put it into a separate account and label it as your travel fund. So listen, this is the first tip you need to apply if you want to actually travel and make that trip a reality. Have a separate fund for it and start committing to it. And if you're someone that you can maybe add more money that is not even your paycheck, maybe you work on freelance basis and you earn extra income, you can just put it in there. And trust me, it doesn't have to be something too big. Listen, it adds up. Even if it's just $50 every week or bi-weekly or something, just make sure you're contributing something to your travel fund. The moment you start, it will go somewhere. And one tip I want to offer to you today is to make sure that your travel fund is in a high interest savings account. I have a video on high interest savings accounts. You can check it out if you live in Canada. It would help you decide which bank to have your travel funds so that you can make your money work for you and even get more money. Does that make sense? The second tip is travel planning. Listen, you cannot just decide that, oh yes, now I have a travel fund and whenever I'm ready to travel, I can just take the money and start traveling. It doesn't work like that. You have to also have a proper travel planning in place. First, you need to decide a location or a destination, decide the budget, you need to decide when do you want to go. All of these things has to go into your travel planning. And how do you decide your travel budget? My suggestion would be to go on YouTube or on Instagram. I personally always post videos of the cost breakdown for my trips, just so that it also help my viewers and my followers to know how much they can potentially budget or save if they want to visit that location. I'm personally not like an extreme budget traveler. I think I just know how to make my dollar go far. Not necessarily like say like backpacking kind of trip or like an extreme budget traveler. I don't even think I'll consider myself a budget traveler because I always prioritize my comfort whenever I'm traveling, and I always prioritize doing things that I personally enjoy. For some people, when they're traveling, they want to splurge on food, they want to do this, they want to. For me, I love activities, I love adventures. So those are the kind of things that I would most likely spend money doing while traveling. So figure out the kind of itinerary you want to have, figure out the location. Most times you can think based on like the time of the year, if it's off season or on season. Do you have vacation days, or do you have days that you have to take time off from work? What are those things that you need to put in place before you can actually go to that destination? That would help you determine the timing and how long do you need to save to be able to afford that trip, right? So once you have all of that all figured out, now you have your budget, you have a timing, then your destination. Most times I always recommend to be a little flexible with it, just because sometimes you might find deals that might come up here and there, and if you are very fixated on going to maybe Cancun or Tulum, then you see other deals that is helping you go to Costa Rica, then you might not want to go there because you're fixated on going somewhere. I would say most likely have like 3 to 5 places in mind that you're open to, but definitely have like your top 3 places that will get, these are the places that I really want to go. Then you can have like additional 2 that, okay, just in case I actually find a good deal, then I'll go there. I do have a travel planner template that you can get. The link is going to be in the description or in the pinned comment. You can get it to help you actually properly visualize your trip, plan your budget, plan your daily itinerary, and a lot more. And if you're also going on a group trip or a solo trip, this template is just the best because you can collaborate with your friends on this template. So once you have your travel plan in place, next is for you to start tracking flight. Typically, the flight is usually the most expensive part of your travel cost, and it might be better for you to start tracking the flights on time. So what I like to do is I set flight alerts on Google Flight and also Skyscanner. You have the option of setting like any time or flexible time on both platforms to help you get alerts in your email whenever the price drops. So for example, let's say the price is currently at $700 to go to Brazil. Then when the flight drops below 700 or 600 or somewhere around there, or even way lower, you get an email notification that this flight ticket has dropped. Then you can actually make the move to purchase at that point in time. Flight tracking has really helped me save a lot of money when traveling. It's just a good way for you to even also know how much you could potentially cost. Sometimes it's not a place that I want to travel to right now, but I just want to have an idea of how the cost of the flight goes up and down over the period. So I used to also track it, and the best time to actually buy your flight is typically within 6 months before your actual trip, because that way you're getting like a good price. Also on Google Flights, make sure to check the trend to see if the price you're currently paying is it at its highest price or its lowest price or the middle price, just so that you are not overpaying for it. So if the price is currently at the highest price and it's like 6 months before the trip, you might just continue to track it and take some time before actually making that purchase. So next tip is for you to actually book in advance. I know a lot of people like to probably do things last minute, not because they want to, sometimes it's because they don't actually have the funds to do so, or because they are not exactly sure if they want to actually go on that trip. So for me personally, my trip to Thailand that I did in January, February, I actually got that flight in August of 2023. That was last year, and that gave me more than enough time to track the flight and see that I was getting a good deal. And also by the time I was getting to like 3 months before the trip, the flight ticket was already like $2,000. So if I did not track the flight and bought it like way in advance, I would have been paying a lot more, or like a premium price. So I highly recommend buying in advance. It really would save you a lot of money. Hotel prices doesn't really hike as much, but if you already see an hotel that you like, you can book it. Most times if you book on platforms like booking.com or sometimes directly with the website or of the hotel, they would allow you to just have a reservation and you can cancel even like as the date approaches. Sometimes you don't even have to pay in advance, you just make a reservation and you can cancel for free up until the actual trip. Same thing with Airbnb. So if it's something that you find a good deal, just make a reservation, and if somewhere down before the trip actually happens you happen to find a cheaper deal, you can just cancel the previous reservation and make a new reservation. But make sure you have made the new reservation before canceling it, because trust me, if you cancel it and you have not made the new reservation, what if it's gone? Then you have to pay a higher price for it. So make sure you actually reserve it first, then cancel the previous one if that's an opportunity that comes up. In terms of booking your itinerary or to-dos and activities, I would suggest that you don't book them too far out in advance, but have an idea of the cost before the trip time. So this would also help you plan your travel budget, so you can know how much you need for the trip. But as a couple of weeks before the trip or a month to the trip, you can start booking them. Most times it's usually refundable if you book on platforms like Get Your Guide, Viator, and maybe Airbnb as well, Airbnb experiences as well. So next is where to stay. You can stay in an hotel when you travel. Most times hotel price cost could vary depending on the rating of the hotels. So if you're planning to stay in like a 5-star hotel, a 4-star hotel, a 3-star hotel, this would determine how much the cost of the hotel would actually be. But if you're working with a limited budget, you can try to find a balance between like comfort and pricing, so that you're not overpaying for an hotel or your accommodation. Check platforms like Airbnb, Booking.com. They usually have like hotel deals or apartment deals. Sometimes whenever I'm really trying to save cost on traveling, I would probably stay in an apartment that's usually an Airbnb for a while. Then maybe like my last 1 or 2 days on the trip, then I can book like that fancy 5-star hotel that I want to stay. But I always make sure to get like the actual experience that I want. What I typically do is in the first few days of my trip, I will stay in a more affordable apartment or an Airbnb. Then I'll stay there for like when I'm doing my activities, when I still want to go out, do all these things where I'll be mostly outdoors, then I stay there. Then as the trip is coming to an end, where I want to have my rest days or just lounge and chill, then I would now book like my 5-star or 7-star hotels and make sure to get the experience of also enjoying my trip. So that's kind of how I do it. I book like 2 hotels most times, or 1 apartment and 1 hotel, and just combine it like that. That's also a way to actually save on your accommodation cost. Another kind of place you can stay when traveling is to do like home sitting or couch surfing. This is not something that I have done, but I've seen people get success with this. So with home sitting, there are people that are probably traveling, or they are out of town, or maybe they have a home like out of where they actually stay. Then they usually welcome guests to stay in their homes for a couple of days or a while when traveling. It's a good way to meet people if that's something that you like. Sometimes some people would let you stay in like a room in their house, which is usually called couch surfing. Couch surfing is literally just sounding like couch surfing, like you're just staying in the couch in somebody's house basically. But sometimes they usually give you like a room. Sometimes it's like people that are friendly, very welcoming. It's a nice way for you to also connect with the city, meet with someone that is actually a local, and get to explore more. But also make sure that you're applying caution and safety if this is your choice of where to stay when traveling. My last tip on how to travel without breaking the bank would be to do a group trip. My previous trip to Colombia, Dominican Republic, Panama was a group trip where I traveled with some friends. So find friends that also have interest in traveling like you do. You guys should have conversation. Make sure that there are people that you're close with or you're cool with. Then start to actually plan to make your trip leave the group chat, because there are a lot of trips that happen and just get stuck in the group chat. They never leave. But one thing though, if your friends are not ready to travel, my dear, hop on the plane and go by yourself. Don't wait for nobody. It's okay to travel by yourself, okay? This was a very good way to save on transportation cost, hotel cost. Sometimes when we book group activities, we also get discounts when you're booking for more than 1 person. As long as your group of friends or group of people that you're looking to travel with are actually people that take traveling serious, like it's a priority for them. But again, I also very much recommend that when you're traveling in a group, just to make sure that you guys are still friends after you travel, make sure you have a proper travel plan laid out. Again, I recommend getting the travel planner that I have. Honestly, it's a lifesaver. I've used it on my trips. Everybody has like their task that they're doing. Everybody know what they need to pack, what their responsibility is. We all can see the cost, and it will avoid any form of drama. You don't want a friendship breakup. You can also use apps like Splitwise to split your travel costs between your friends, just so that you know who paid for what and nobody's owing anyone at the end of the trip. So these are some of my tips on how to travel without breaking the bank. You know, you shouldn't be going broke just because you want to explore the world. Absolutely not. I'm not for all of that. But hopefully these tips help you travel more and explore the world and live the life of your dreams. Fulfill that urge, that happiness that you get when you travel, because trust me, it's a very beautiful feeling. Again, I would strongly recommend that you join my travel newsletter. I send helpful tips to help you travel more. Join the newsletter, the link is below, and also get a copy of my travel planner. It will help you plan a seamless trip. The link is also below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.